All right, we got back today, a little bit of biceps. Two things I'm gonna go over before we get in there. One, plan for today, what I'm gonna hit exercise-wise. And then second, I'm gonna guide through the question of should you bulk or cut, depending on where you are at, physique-wise, food-wise, all the above. So first, brief overview what I'm gonna get into today is 4 exercises at back. Ideally, I want to start with the superset of lat pull downs with lat pull overs. The machines like right next to each other, easy enough to make it a superset. Given it's 5 o'clock on a Tuesday, I feel like unlikely. So I might have to wait until the end when there's less people there, but we'll see. And then I'll have 2 different row movements. I'll have a T-bar row, and then a mid row on a machine. So that's the plan for back. Biceps, a couple different bicep exercises, probably some hammer curls, and then preacher curl. So I think it's a very straightforward back and bi day. And now, bulking or cutting, or bulk or cut. How do you know which one you should be doing right now? First off, before I get into this, I want to make a disclaimer of if you are the age of like 13 to 16, maybe even 17, if you're in that age range and you aren't morbidly obese, do not cut whatsoever. And I'll explain why. Your body's going through so many changes through puberty, growing, so many developmental pieces in your body are going to change significantly over that period of time, that trying to get shredded or cut down during that will limit that occurrence of growing overall development by trying to get lean in that period of time. And it is a much worse reward. I mean, not worse reward, but there's so many drawbacks from trying to cut down at that age that it is not worth it, and you shouldn't do that. Because you want to give your body the food to keep growing and actually develop fully, and then worry about cutting or getting shredded or competing. Do not try and cut. And I say only if just like you're not like morbidly obese, because if you're obese, then like different story, we have something else to work on. Even then, if you're obese, I wouldn't say cut, I would just say do more exercise, and I think your body would take care of the rest given the fact of your age. So that was the disclaimer I wanted to make. And then, should you bulk or cut? First questions I would ask are, well, one is, I think, given we're all probably have the same goal, is get bigger and leaner. Given that, first question would be is, what body fat percentage are you right now? Now, I don't think there is exact numbers you can give yourself, but you can sure as hell give yourself a range. You can look up, maybe don't look it up. Online is kind of not good at giving estimates of body fat percentages, but I will say the 2 body fat percentages I will say are like, are your abs visible or your abs not visible? Now, I'm saying like, can you see them at all, or can you not see a single part of your abs? Because even if you don't like have built abs, you still will be able to relatively see them, at least like the lines on the sides, or maybe like slight indents of like seeing, oh, there's my 6-pack, or like where they are. If you can't see them whatsoever, I will say, like, affirm you need to cut. That's what I would say. A couple of reasons. One, your body's not going to be as good at putting on muscle when you're at a higher body fat percentage, because it will not be as efficient in utilizing the food you give it. So in simple terms, your body putting muscle on from the food you give it, not as good when there's more fat. Body's less efficient. Another reason is you're probably going to be not hungry very early into the bulk. Probably going to be pretty full. Having a higher body fat percentage can cause you to have a higher, it's called leptin. It's the fullness hormone. So what signals to your brain to say, I'm full, I don't want to eat anymore. When you have a higher body fat percentage, that goes up. And the longer you can delay being full at a bulk, the further, generally speaking, the further you can take it. So those are the two main reasons. So I would say if your body fat is under a percentage where you can see your abs, the next question I would ask is, how much are you currently eating in a day? Like, what's your calorie intake right now? Because if your calorie intake is like to the moon, if you're eating 5,500 calories right now, and you haven't really like oriented towards a bulk or a cut, how much further are you going to be able to bulk if you're already at 5,500 at your baseline? So I think it would be much better to cut down a little bit, make your baseline a little lower calorie-wise, and then start to bulk. And you might be like, oh, well, I have a fast metabolism, this or that. But like, do you want to reach your goals or not? I literally was at 5,500 for my peak bulk, and my metabolism was fast enough to where I was eating 3,300 going into peak week for show. Some people start their bulk off at 3,300, and I was eating that when I was bone dry going into competing. So I consider that a pretty quick metabolism. Upside is, if you have a quick metabolism, the bulking part's the hard part, but cutting is actually really fun because you can cut down and get shredded and not really be hungry. So there's pros and cons to both, right? So never use your body's metabolism as an excuse, or what you've been given as a gift as an excuse. So yeah, if you have visible abs, maybe say you're not eating higher up in calories. Would I say bulk? I guess I would say, yeah, it'd be fine to bulk then. I guess that would be like the most baseline thing to say bulk or cut is body fat percentage, if your abs are visible or not. And also, if you are early into your lifting, like first year or something, and your abs aren't visible, I wouldn't be overly concerned about, maybe if they are visible, I wouldn't be overly concerned about the diet side of things. I think that just like the newbie gains will make a drastic change in either direction, like positive direction, just from going to the gym every day and doing cardio every day. Because even just taking the food you've been eating already, your normal diet, and then throwing in the gym and cardio, your body's going to utilize the food differently, and you're going to see big changes just from that. Like your first year, I'd argue first year and a half. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But considering bulking or cutting, I'd go based off of those visible abs or not. I mean, sure, it's all situational, but that's the most concrete answer I can make. So we're here, packed as hell here. That's all right. You will see if I find a lat pull down machine open. If not, I'm gonna go straight into T-bar rows or mid row. Literally whatever's open, I'm about to start with it. So see you guys in there. All right, well, this was the only thing open that I'm planning on doing today. Alan is inside real quick, so I can talk before I start. Yeah, this is the only movement that was open that I planned on doing today. So I'll start with these. And general scheme of the workout is like 2 horizontal movements, 2 vertical movements, and then just different elbow pads for each of them. So this T-bar row, I'm like focused on keeping my elbow like super freaking high. So it hits mainly my traps and upper back, but
Just so there's a massive difference between moving I'm doing for this, and the next one's like a mid row to where my elbow's like relatively tucked in. So those are the two different horizontals. Two different verticals are lat pull down. I mean, I don't have to explain that. And then a lat pull over is two completely different elbow paths. So if you're concerned about like, am I hitting everything in my back? I mean, there's only so many ways your elbow can move for a muscle group, like targeting something. So for back, there's only so many ways you can move your elbow. So if you just get like different, I don't know, maybe 4, 5 different elbow paths, including vertical and horizontal, for a back day, I can almost guarantee you're hitting everything in your back. So you don't have to overcomplicate, like looking up, am I hitting my rhomboids in 2 different exercises of my back day, and like trying to scientifically orient it exactly for a back day. You can just know, like, if I have 4 different elbow paths from a back day, I'm set. Like, I know I'm hitting everything in my back. So, easy way to simplify your workout to know you're doing it right. All right, with that being said, let's see how much I can get on this. I added an extra 10-pound plate compared to last week. So, we shall see. Dude, I downed, hopefully this isn't loud, I downed 6 ounces of steak, and 2 bagels, and then like broccoli before this, and then a liter of water on the way here. I didn't feel like waiting to let it digest, so hopefully I don't have steak and broccoli on the ground after this set. Next set. Whew. We'll say if you don't have this, if you want to do like a incline bench, if you lean over an incline bench, use a pad like that and use like dumbbells instead. Basically get the same shit. Okay. Do some rows now. Alright. I like using this one just because it has like I guess I'm not going to change it this time, but you can make the weight like heavier at the bottom. Like fully makes you reach out for it, but that's the main reason I started using it. But other than that, you can use like a cable row or I don't know, literally any type of row that's going to have your elbow by your hip. I was going to say something else. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I'd say the biggest difference I saw from like when I first started, the biggest change in my back that I saw from when I first started working out, I'm not saying huge changes, but now hitting back, major changes, is what I said earlier about hitting a bunch of different elbow pads. And I think when I first started working out, I would do so many vertical movements and maybe do like one row. And it was just like a barbell row that I would ego lift, use my lower back for like 4 reps, and then call that my horizontal row for the entire back day. And I think if you just go by what I said about having 4 different movements, 2 vertical, 2 horizontal, and each one being a different elbow path, you'll see all the difference from that. And I will say if you have I want to say issue, but not really like a V-taper in your back, more like a mushroom top back, you don't really have much of a lower lat, I will say that hitting all the different elbow paths would make like the biggest difference. Because I kind of had it in the beginning. I didn't really have much of a V-taper to it. What was I doing? I was working out in my basement, and I mainly had like a wide grip or pull-up bar. I did wide grip pull-ups on, and then barbell rows I did, and then I would do 3 variations of pull-ups because all I had really was a pull-up bar and then the barbell. So I would do wide grip pull-ups, chin-ups, a kind of like I don't know what I call this, a pull-up that was like a neutral grip. So I did like 9 sets straight of, or over 9 sets straight of just vertical movements, and then threw in just a super heavy barbell row. So, I mean, no wonder I wasn't seeing much of a difference in my back the way I wanted to see a difference. Anyways, let's see how this goes. man. Yeah, I know. All right, let's see if I can find both the lat pull down and lat pullover open. Otherwise, I'll just do them regular sets instead of a superset, instead of waiting for both. All right. All right, hopefully you can see me talk before I start the set. I'm gonna just do it. Yeah, you can see me. Wide grip. No other reason than just I want to mix it up. There's a difference between the two, like wide grip and I guess medium. We want to call it medium grip, but not much difference to make a noticeable, like physical difference between the workouts. So everything else is the same. Yeah, got you. I waited like 15 minutes for this, so yeah, I don't blame you for asking. All right, you got it. I'm gonna superset with pullovers right here. Okay.
Oh yeah, well, 9:30. I was like, I didn't know there was no water. I'm not fishing till 2. I didn't even have to get in the water. The boat was so low, I couldn't see it when it was coming out. Yeah. I went out there with the water.
Is it cool if I do one more right now?
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Never happened like that. Yeah, it was broken.
I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I see nobody. And I'm like, yes, perfect. I'm like, oh, this explains why. You missed my 135 pound bench press.
Oh, you're 135?
Yeah.
Good. Nice.
I just have to remind Ann that I said, just so you know.
No arc, like flat back? Or?
Yeah.
No.
I haven't even been. And I did.
How'd you do on hip thrust?
Yeah, I did. I went up to like 320 for 2 sets of 10, and then I don't know how many sets I did. Because, yeah. But yeah, dude, it kills.
I'm gonna do like 4, I guess you call them rest pause sets, but a little bit longer of a rest. 4 sets where I'm gonna rest like less than a minute in between them. Honestly, just make it a little more intense. I'm not really making a full bicep day out of this. So just enough to get a full pump in my biceps, still get them worked, and then get out of here. Pose and get out of here, but still. Get up the weight. I feel like I start going to more like finishers of like the entire day of a workout. Like bicep day 4 days ago, I should have thrown in like running the rack on like my last set of biceps, as in like take like each weight to failure. Either if it's on like a machine, just up the pin each time. I don't know. I just feel like that I'm this deep into an off season. Like, doesn't hurt to throw in the extra finishers and honestly like go the extra mile. One, because I have so much extra food right now. I'm up like 3 pounds the past week, and then 3 pounds the week before. So, but like cutting, I usually just try to do the same things I normally do. Still train just as intense, but like, especially when you get closer to the show, you're not gonna want to throw in like a quadruple drop set. So, like I'd say like right now, this is definitely the time to start doing that. Deep in off season, 1,500 calories in, 4 months after show, like this is the perfect time to do that. So, all right. Oh, I'm not gonna pause the camera between them. Let's do 4 straight sets. Forgot to say I'm not pausing it. Whoops. All right, probably maybe like 20 seconds and then go back to it. All right, let's get it. So I used to see, I guess while I got a second here, I used to see videos of Ian Valair do like cluster sets. I feel like I don't see anybody doing that shit anymore. Maybe like a rest polish set or something, sure, like an intensifier, but I think cluster sets like you do 3 reps or something, wait 10 seconds, do another 3 reps, wait 10 seconds. And yeah, I've never seen that shit since he made a video about it like 6 years ago. I brought that up because this kind of feels like a cluster set, but that's not the point. This will be the last set. I'm gonna drop the weight just so I can get at least a little bit out of the end of the workout. Alright, I guess we got the purple lighting today. I don't feel like changing it. There's a switch in here. You can switch the lights between the yellow and the purple ones, but whatever. Whatever I walk into is the lighting I'm going to use. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Purple lighting? Yeah, whatever. Let's check it out. Sometimes it's just like cramps. Usually like when I'm laying down or something, if I roll over and like inhale, I get like a cramp right there sometimes. Alright, well, that was basically it today. So I will say, throwing the superset pull downs and pullovers, whew. Yeah, it definitely adds an extra level of intensity to the workout. Man. Yeah, dude, I had to make sure, well, not taking it easy, but like, I had to make sure I didn't like go over top with like start swinging the weight around after doing the pullovers, like once I had failure. Just because I know if I did anymore, I was gonna start to not feel right. Especially after doing like 12 reps of the pull downs. I got like damn near 12 on the pullovers as well. And if I started doing like forced, I don't know, I definitely wouldn't have felt that good. So, but all right, let's get in the car.
All right, let's get out of here. Dude, I was looking at my phone for a minute, looking where I wanted to get a cheat meal from. I was thinking about getting wings and fries, but I mean, that amount of fat, I think, is gonna make me throw up. Does not sound appetizing right now, especially after a workout. I don't really want that. Burger and fry is still greasy, but I think I'm gonna get that because I wanted to get like a big cookies, but the fucking cookie place shut down right next to my apartment. What the fuck? Am I supposed to get cookies? It was like I want to say knockoff because they were equally good cookies as Crumble, but it was a different name brand store than Crumble. Same size cookies, really good ones, and fucking shut down. I guess maybe they're not that good, or they're just not as well known. But man, they were good. I was literally gonna get that today, but I guess not. I guess my $12 given to them for 2 cookies is not enough to keep the place open. Who would have thought? Anyways, probably gonna get Five Guys. Ideally I get something that is really dense food-wise, so that I can help. It helps me eat more, kind of like a 2-for-1 cheat meal. I know damn well if I got 20 wings and fries right now, I would feel disgusting. So I'm considering maybe if I get a sub or something, but I don't feel like a sub is a cheat meal. I don't feel like I'd be happy eating a sub. So I'm thinking a burger and fry, but I don't know. Probably just gonna get a fucking burger and fry. Call it a day there. But yeah, had to get the important information out first before I talk about the workout. It was fucking dude. I've been explaining the same workouts, but threw in the superset. Want to make it more intense. Superset with the lat pull downs, the lat pull overs to make it more intense. Work out a little quicker. Those are like the 2 main reasons. I guess that's the only thing I can really point out for my workout. Oh, if you saw like I was doing like the how I was doing an exercise, like some of them I did a tempo set. So like the row movement I did on the machine row, and then like one of my bicep curls I did 2 reps quick, 1 rep super slow eccentric. It's just called a tempo set. It's a different way to make the set pretty intense. I mean, you can be like, or you could say, oh, well, it'd be more optimal to do every single rep slow eccentric. Okay. I really don't think there's much of a difference. Especially the fact that professionals do it too. And I mean, if they're not overly concerned about it, I don't think I should be overly concerned about it. Because, I mean, they're literally professionals. So, and I say that not for everything, because I will say just because you're a huge bodybuilder does not mean that you know what you're doing. But the pro bodybuilders that I've watched and I know that know what they're doing have done it. So, I mean, it's just another way to make the workout intense, enjoy it, and get a mix of blood flow in the muscle while getting higher reps. Because if I did like 2 quick, 1 slow, I'm getting control of it, as well as you're way more likely to get more reps because with the heavier weight, because you did 2 quick instead of all slow. So I mean, it's just a way to mix up the workout. I think that's something I've really noticed. The more I've gotten into working out, or the deeper I've gotten into working out, is it's usually just a general scheme you go by. I mean, the diet stays the effing same day to day. Slight changes weekly, and then just the workouts are like, once you know how to hit muscle groups, really go in, just know what you're hitting, and then call it that. It just becomes second nature, and it's like it's not this hyper focused. I needed to go hit exactly a lat pullover on a machine instead of like a lat pullover with the cable because I need the exact stability sitting down in the chair on the pullover machine and buckle myself in so I can get the absolute maximum out of my lower latissimus dorsi. It's like, dude, you're doing too much. You're reaching. You gotta just the fundamentals, and then like the complexity comes down to the diet side. Quite honestly, the training side is not overly complex. The diet side, with the minor tweaks between like your fat to carb ratio, slight calorie adjustments, how your physique looks weekly, of like how are you going to adjust your diet based off of how your body's responding to the diet. Like those are really the more complex things that happen with bodybuilding. I'd say the training itself is not overly complex. Only time it gets near that is for a professional bodybuilder when they're trying to work on bringing up a lagging muscle group. But anything other than a professional bodybuilder who already hit their weight cap and has clearly competed numerous times and has been told by judges like this has to come up, so it's blatantly the only thing he has to work on, that is when it gets a little more complex on the training side of it. But other than that, it's really not that complicated. I mean, you saw my workout today. Was it that complicated? Just did 4 sets of everything, hit them hard, threw in a superset. I don't think a superset's too hard to understand. You just do one exercise and do the other one right after. And that's 1 set. Straightforward. And just get after it, quite honestly. The more overcomplicated you make it, I feel like the less progress you make. And I say that in the position I am now, years into it, but in the beginning of sure, you still have to understand like the fundamentals and learn why you're doing what you're doing, but like always keep that in the back of your mind of like not swaying from the fundies because you're trying to get too fancy with it. Like, dude, like doing the I'll give an example because I used to do this shit. Doing the doing like a mesocycle with slightly increasing your RAR week to week on the same exercises, and then once you hit failure, you do a deload. Like, brother, you do not need to do all that shit. I promise you. By no means do you have to do that. And I suggest you don't do that because you're just not hurting yourself, but like you're missing out on actually getting good workouts in from trying to do that shit. Powerlifters definitely have to do that because their CNS gets killed from doing PRs all the time. Not all the time, but PRs like once a month. And that wrecks your brain. Not wrecks it, but it needs a mental reset after doing that. The bodybuilding, dude, like, you don't need to be doing all that. If you get to the point where, like, dude, my head's pounding, like, take an extra rest day, but by no means you got to do all the fancy RAR, deload week. It's a different game, man. And it's coming from me who's wasted a lot of time trying to do that, and I ended up just spinning my wheels and not actually making good progress. So I think it's important to point that out. Because wish I had that guidance earlier, which I'm glad I now have that guidance with my coach, but like earlier the better of actually getting some quality information. And half the time it's for people online that are just trying to get some views and not legitimate info. So yeah. Dude, I want to get 5 guys, but I can't get over. Alright, man, damn. What's this guy gotta do to get 5 guys? Alright. What do we think? We call it there? Dude, I really want fucking cookies. I might look that up right now and see if there's something on the way that I can get cookies. I really don't want to get a burger, but I don't have to get a cheat meal right now, but like, I don't know, man. I definitely don't want wings and fries after considering that. I would feel disgusting. There's like 120 grams of fat in that, I looked up. I mean, cheat meals, you don't have to worry about it because the whole point of cheat meal is to just enjoy the cheat meal. I just like looking it up out of curiosity. And like, fucking hell, 120? I feel like this is probably like 80, but still, that's like 1.5 times the amount. All right, I'm gonna turn this off, and if you see if I got burger and fry, then you know, or I might turn it back on and get cookies. All right. I know you can't smell it, but my car smells like straight grease. I just decided to get this. This is gonna launch on the ground. Whatever. I just decided to get this for my cheat meal. Oh well. What was I gonna say? I got just a burger and a fry, no cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion. That was it. If you give a damn. What was I saying? Oh, overcomplicating workouts. I guess what else could I say about that? I don't know. Let me think of what else I kind of wish I knew earlier. That was definitely a big one. Another one would be, I'm not going to go in the whole biochemistry of like the food you eat, but another one would be understanding that just hitting a macro goal is not equivalent to the types of foods you pick for that macro goal as well. Now, on the scale of like what's going to be the biggest changes in your body composition, yes, calorie goal is like the biggest chunk of it. Then your macros are like the second biggest chunk. But like the quality of the macros you get, like where you're getting them from, is like third. Which is still like a big portion of your body composition. I'd still say it's like about a quarter of it. And maybe more like 20% or something, but like still, that's a pretty big chunk. Nutrient timing, sure, but like that's not the end of the world. I'd say nutrient timing is only a bigger deal when you're cutting. Like when you're in deficit, spacing out your meals can help with like protein sparing, as in like saving your muscle from being broken down while in a deficit. That's why spacing it out for like 6 meals helps. But like on the bulk, I'd say it's like significantly less important because you're in a surplus. Your body's using the food the entire time. That's why you're in a surplus in the first place. I'd say the only exception would be like if you somehow manage to have one meal a day that's 4,500 calories, which I feel like is not possible. It is possible, but definitely not practical. So I would say that's like the only thing. I just cut a guy off because he was not paying attention. Anyways. Yeah, that would be one of the bigger things. This is gonna sound, it's not gonna sound bad. I think it'd be like if you're a couple of years into working out, or 3 years into working out, anywhere in that range, maybe even just a year into working out, and you feel like you know everything, brother, you do not know shit. And this comes from someone that still doesn't know everything, but I sure as hell know more than I knew when I thought I knew everything a year and 2 years into working out. By way far. So it will only help you to accept that you don't know everything, okay? And finding a coach that knows his shit, knows what he's doing, will help you dramatically. And as soon as you change that, you will see such a significant difference. The difference that I've experienced myself. So do not think that you know everything. And I think that one's hard to let go because I know if I was my 18-year-old self again, and I was back to being like a senior in high school, and I was listening to myself right now say like, you don't know everything, it still would have gone straight over my head, been like, yeah, right. Like, F this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, I know my shit. Like, I get it. I would be the same way if I was 18 listening to this or 16 listening to this and still think I know everything because I watched like a bunch of TikToks on fitness. So that's up to you. I'm not gonna do any more convincing than what I just said, but I think you'll notice at least in a couple of years from now, like you realize like, oh shit, yeah, maybe there is a deeper rabbit hole to this sport than I realized. So, but anyways, as far as I go about it, I'm not gonna be harping on you guys for it. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there because I want to open my windows for the rest of this drive home so my car doesn't smell like Five Guys for the next week. I don't mind. Nah, I do mind it, dude. I don't like smelling fast food all the time. Sure, I'll eat it, but like, would you want your home smelling like Five Guys? I guess some of you would say yeah, but like, I don't want to smell like fucking Five Guys because then I'll smell like Five Guys getting out of my car. I don't want to smell like food walking around. Anyways, who gives a shit what I just said? Tomorrow we got quads, and then rest day, back to chest, and fuck. Right now these videos get like anywhere between 7 and 11 views, which I don't mind because I know that I'm literally just taking my workouts and uploading them. I'm basically uploading them right now for when I start to make like the better retention videos. That's like the interesting stuff that people really click on. So if you clicked on this, I appreciate it, but I have these videos so once you watch like something that's like clickable, come and see what I actually do in my daily life. And it feels more down to earth instead of like the hyper edited, super highly edited videos. So where was I going with this? I made a couple whiteboard videos, and if one person comments saying I want another whiteboard video, I will make another whiteboard video. I'm gonna have them in the future for sure, but like one comment and I'll make one like tomorrow. So, all right, appreciate y'all watching. See you guys tomorrow for some quads.